got older and you learn more about guns and elevate yourself, of course, you get bigger guns. Guns are sold on the street like dope is sold on the street. You can even buy guns from enemy gangs because right now it's a business. It's about making this money. They come from everywhere. Now, where they get them from could be from the police force. It could be from the military. You can never be caught what we call lacking or slipping. You got to always be ready. You got to have enough firepower. You are ready for war at all times. From the early 80s all the way up through the mid 90s, those were the years of heightened gang activities. So drive-by shootings were nothing. You could literally turn your news on every day during those years and see a drive-by shooting. I mean, every day. We had a drive-by shooting to where that I participated in. I walked in the house and I remember seeing it on the news. I must have been about 15 at that time. I remember my mom was on the phone and she was like, I'm so tired of these kids shooting one another and killing one another. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, she has no idea that I was just in this situation. She never found out about it, but I just remembered the way that I felt listening to her on the phone, telling her friend, like, man, these kids need to stop this and this is crazy. And there's another situation to where we were getting ready to go out on what they call Sunday Fun Day, when all the lowriders, all the motorcycle clubs, all the car clubs, all the gang members, that's like the one day to where all the gang members, enemies, everybody can congregate in one area on Crenshaw Boulevard. I remember we seen a car pull up to the corner. And usually when you see cars pull up in the corner with no lights or anything like that, you know that's a sign of something that's gonna happen. And all you see was guns come out the window and everybody just got to shooting at everybody. And we all just scattered like ants, just everybody screaming, hollering, running, scattering, because no one had guns actually on their person at the time. One of my big homeboys, he was very known. He had got hit in the face because they shot with a 12 gauge and they had buckshots, but it didn't kill him because they weren't shot at close range. Luckily, nobody got killed. The Crips were founded in the 60s and by Raymond Washington. He formed the East Side Crips, which is on the east side of LA. Tookie Williams formed the West Side Crips. And through those two different foundations, different sets start to evolve. Different areas, the Hoovers, the East Coast, the Rolling 60s, the Menlos, all these different sets. The object and the goal was to keep this side of LA safe. But, as usual, things escalated, things multiplied, and violence became, shit happened. When Raymond Washington got killed, that's what caused the division. That's when Crippin became divided between the East and the West, and different things start happening in different subsets. And it just became like a disease. One Crip set betrayed this Crip set, and then it just caused a never-ending feud. Bloods used to be the main rivals of the Crips, but now there are just as many Crips are against one another than there are Bloods. A lot of Crips and Bloods have become allies because they share the same common Crip enemy. For example, the A-Trade Gangster Crips, they have a peace treaty going on with the Inglewood Family Bloods. And that's because their borderline is connected right next to one another. So since our neighborhoods are so close to one another, you got to come through my neighborhood to get home. I got to come to your neighborhood to get home. Let's make this a blood-free zone. No violence. Not saying that we're homeboys or we're just a close hood, but let's keep the peace between this dynamic, between this area. The beef between the 6'5" Menlo Crips and the Hoover Crips, it goes way back. We actually all grew up together and went to school together. We became one of the biggest enemies to the Hoovers because our sets are so close to one another. To get to the Hoover,